Hi everyone! As you can see by the background, I'm not at the boat. We attended our youngest daughter's graduation from San Francisco State last week. And this week we're visiting friends and family before we attend Minnie's Yacht Surplus annual swap meet on Sunday and then head back to the boat. Our tentative plans are to splash before mid-June. And as always, I say tentative because we've had other splash dates come and go. Before we left the boat last week, we made great strides forward, and as always, another project. I am reaching out to you to see if you guys have any ideas. With the help of a friend, we raised a headsail on the Furler a couple of months ago. Coming from a 25-foot sailboat, our headsails were simply hanged on, and other than on charter boats in the BVI, we have had no experience with furling headsails. Before leaving the boat last week, we decided it would be best to remove the headsail during our absence. As it turns out, it was a good decision, as we couldn't get the headsail down. And it could have been disastrous if this had happened at sea. As it was, I simply made a trip up the mast, released the shackle from the halyard swivel, and the sail slid down the foil. Here is a little video of what appears to be the problem. As you can see, the halyard swivel jams on a joint in the foil. To our untrained eyes, nothing appears untoward. Any ideas on how to solve this jam? Omar finished plumbing the fuel tank. Originally, our boat had only one primary fuel filter. While Lee was in California, he purchased a second Raycor, and he and Omar discussed the installation of the additional filter. Omar cleverly installed the filter so that we can switch from one filter to another with the engine running and not have air introduced into the fuel system. Omar was very patient in explaining to me how to change the secondary fuel filter and gave some good tips.
So what I do, like this, and I look on the
including how he uses his camera phone in selfie mode to make sure the top gasket is seated flat and not twisted.
I always like to leave the number on this side, so you can, what kind of filter? That one.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't know, I can't see it.
He also explained how I would go about bleeding the engine.
So we start pressing this handle down, up and down, up and down. And we got that pointed to starboard.
After a few tries, the engine started, and it was music to our ears. But all was not easy, as there was no water being pumped out with the exhaust. As the impeller on the water pump had already been replaced, Omar determined it was a faulty water pump. Luckily, a spare came with the boat, and upon installation of the new pump, all was as it should be. We experienced sticker shock when we looked up the replacement cost of a new water pump to have on hand as a spare. Lee ended up taking the old pump apart and discovered one side of the cam had worn through. He ordered a replacement cam for $45. Once the new cam is installed, we will test the pump to make sure it works. If it does, $45 is easy easier to swallow than $450. Just after posting the last video, and while we were waiting for Omar to become available to finish with the engine, I made a quick 4-day trip to San Francisco to attend a scholastic award ceremony for our daughter. The airport at Guaymas has no connecting flights to the U.S., so Lee drove me to Hermosillo, the capital of Sonora, a 2-hour drive, where I was able to fly to San Francisco via Mexico City. It is indeed circuitous, as Hermosillo is approximately halfway between Mexico City and San Francisco. It was wonderful to spend some time with our 2 daughters. I love to fly, especially over terrain I know, and the return trip was fantastic as we flew down the coast of California before turning inland between Tijuana and Ensenada. It is fantastic to see familiar sailing destinations from the air. When we left the boat last week, Blondie, our dog, made her first border crossing. We also took a different route through northern Sonora on Mexico Highway 2. It was beautiful, with the lush desert of southern Sonora giving way to the harsh northern Sonora. We also discovered that crossing the border on a Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. is not a good time to cross. We had a 2-hour wait. We are looking forward to getting back to the boat. Our focus is to hit the water ASAP, and I'll start with the bottom paint while Lee works on packing tools and gear in the lazarette. I hope to post a short video just before we splash. Fingers crossed!